God bless you. God bless you, my children. God bless you, my children. I'm gonna be real honest. My eye contact might not be very on point because I like to stare at myself. I also talk to myself when I do these, because I am a part of the collective. If not, then that wouldn't really make sense, right? So some of the messages I was getting today was like, she doesn't need friends. She doesn't need friends. So you don't need friends. Oh, that's what it is. A lot of people will say you can't do these things alone, and it's not personal, and this and this and this and this. But if you're doing something, like if you're collaborating with someone else, whether it's business or just regulars, then it is personal. Especially when you're hands-on in something, it is personal. The rules, the laws, the regulations that they put to protect some people leave other people out in the open, right? And sometimes people would say that's a good thing. And sometimes that same person that sometimes thinks it's a good thing can think it's a bad thing, right? So how do we fill in those gaps? How do we bridge those realities to better the odds, to lighten the odds? Because slips are inevitable. Slips are inevitable, but you can add oil to the floor if you want. So, specifically, more so, moving on. Moving on, really quick, moving on. If you have encountered, or, okay, this is more for people like who are currently encountering this situation, but if you had a stalker, and what would I classify as a stalker? Following you around, like following your car, like driving around to find you, certain tracking devices, crossing the boundaries consistently, an inability to let go, like all of these things, right? And I say that with so much love and so lightly because we all, right, like that's because parents or like certain other people, certain behaviors can come off that way. So there's a little crossroads here, a little split here where it's important that you understand these things and you understand people's boundaries. It's inevitable to cross them sometimes, and if they're not communicating properly with you, that's another thing. But if you're blatantly disregarding and disrespecting somebody's space, that is something that needs to be balanced within yourself. Because that can help protect. That is the true protection. That is the true education. That is how you lead by example, by taking care of it within yourself. Because now they're not gonna have to discern or decipher, is it this, is it this, is it this, is it this? Oh, well, is it this? Oh, well, but this person in my life that is supposed to be a leader and really trustworthy, and they are, but they do that too. So why, what is, you know what I'm trying to say? And I think this can bridge into that thing I brought up the other video where it was like, oh, like the parents can sometimes judge somebody's significant other, like, oh, they do this, they do that, like they're not living up to their standards, when in actuality it's like they treat them the exact same way that they maybe treated them, maybe not are treating them, sometimes yes, but it goes a little further back than that, right? It can pull up things from childhood, especially if the child is wanting to create their own family now, right? Or to plan, right? Because you can plan when you're a child. But I'm just speaking in terms of like, is genealogy the right word? Like the familial tree. Freaking chopping up my words. That's crazy. Okay. So if you had a stalker and you are aware or something has inclined you to believe that there were darker forces being called in to help them succeed in whatever the heck it was that they wanted from you, as you keep feeding into yourself, nourishing yourself, nurturing yourself, believing in yourself, loving yourself, standing within your boundaries, and also adjusting to the breaches, adjusting to the emergency situations and how you react, and how much emotional power kind of like can take over. Emotional power can also like root and ground and charge. And so I see if somebody crosses your boundary, your reaction may be like to fight, which could be necessary. But in pulling your energy in, you may actually decompress. Why is that the word? Decompress a situation. And you will know when you have completely adjusted and updated and integrated your force field to where it's impenetrable for them. The sign will be seeing them on the road. You're going to be having a good time. Maybe you just treated yourself to something. Maybe you're on the way to go do something really fun. You'll be super zen. They're not even in your mind. You forgot about it. And you'll see them. You'll see them passing. And that will be your confirmation that you are free and it is safe to speak your truth. And also, bravo and congratulations for being so empathetic and compassionate even in this situation. Because you recognize that that can be you if you don't have the correct support. That could be you if the support you have pushes you to spiral more out of control rather than grounding into yourself and being authentic and accepting your emotions, accepting certain things, accepting what people say or do or all of these things. Not in the sense of bypassing and allowing abuse, but in the sense of understanding that these things take time to learn how to articulate, to learn how to communicate. It is a new language. Abuse, violence, it is a language. And sometimes, okay, let me make sure I figure out how to say this correctly. Like sometimes we yell at people and it's like, do they deserve to be yelled at? The answer would usually always be no, but we can find forgiveness for those moments because sometimes they can be bigger catalysts. So it's about, it's kind of about the consistency of the energies. And if there is an energy popping up, right? Because there's also people who want to help these people, right? So if which I'm just trying to say, like, I'm not encouraging or like, stay in this relationship and like, you don't have to heal anybody but yourself. And you just follow your intuition and your feelings. And sometimes when you think you're doing something that's not a healy thing, the way that the dominoes fall, the way that the towers crash, one after the other, the line of defense, it actually shows you how it worked out in a more grand way with a more medicinal, loving effect rather than like a poisonous, venomous, treacherous, like, attack. some people can take the loving energy as an attack if it is embedded with something that is not medicinal for them. Like, oh, I would do this and this and this and this. Like, you're not gonna give, well, you should be able to, but when it comes down to the real specifics, the day-to-day, like, I need to get from here to here and I'm stuck, like that type of energy, like, you wouldn't give the same advice to like a pro athlete as you would like someone that's like using a walker or in a wheelchair, right? Like, you would adjust it a little bit. It's the same concepts, but on different levels of the spirit, body, and the mind. Or so I believe. I don't know. But confirmation for cycle closure and release of any dark magic is you will pass them. Obviously, that means that it didn't work and that things should be ending. And if anything is to approach you, like, you're already safe. You're already saved. It's not the things you did or the things you said or say. You can use present tense. But it's the energy. It's that you cared when no one else did. And that is something that is irreplaceable. That is why sometimes you feel responsibility. And there's not really anywhere to run away, right? So in this way, you kind of are healing the people who were coming after you. Me, when I don't believe one of the messages that I'm getting, I'm like, can I get a card to confirm? They're gonna tell me no, you don't get a card to confirm. Oh, damn. Oh! Oh! Okay. Oh my god. Okay. You behead someone else, you probably behead yourself too, right? Like, that's just kind of the go hard, go home energy, which is great. You just need a little bit of balance there. And the way to balance that is giving yourself the credit and recognition you deserve for doing something like this. And also having the awareness that more than just you should be able to do this. And the bridge of those together is the way that you're handling it and accomplishing it and moving forward, all that stuff. I'm not telling you what to do. Only if it like feels right, then it's for you. It also could be for you if it, like, sometimes like when things feel wrong, it could also be for you because, okay, I'll use like an example, like a person will say something and you'll be like, that's wild, but they meant it in a different way than the general population does. So it's like a hidden blessing, like a secret surprise. And that what they said, like, and then having the different meaning, it shifts things for you, right? Like, not only does it change the way you think or feel in regards to the literature itself, the words itself, but people all around you. And it's not about manipulating them or forcing people to change or whatever, but it's just about sharing your ideas and feeling welcome and loved and accepted. And some people will take some slivers of that and figure out how to do it for themselves too. And some people will just appreciate the work that you did. And it's not that they're not doing their own work. They're working on something else. that's really going to help you in the long run. 10 to 15 years. They're saying 10 to 15 years because if they just said 10 or 15, I would have been like, I'm just thinking thoughts. No, okay. Okay, 10 to 15 years. Oops. I'm sorry. Did self-doubt affect the flow of my channeling? My bad. 10 to 15 years. Ooh. Give me a second. I'm trying a drink that I've never tried before. Plus, seeing like an old friend who served it to me. This thing tastes, this is like, it feels like it's healing everything. It feels like it's fixing everything. Is that true? Maybe. Because if you don't want to look in the sense of, oh, she's drinking this drink, she's just going to be all better. That might not be true in that way. But it may help take me to where I want to go a little further ahead so that I can find something else to recharge and go for. You know what I mean? It's like a more chillaxed version of what I went through with all the healing and medical modalities when I was trying to fix my disability. Try to get rid of it instead of work with it, as if it wasn't a part of me. As if some of the things I was experiencing wasn't like any different than when you would be late for a class or sick and not be able to go here or go there, or you do this or you do that, and it's like, sorry, just venting, I guess. Sorry, just releasing my medicine or whatever. My medicine, me, my medicine. Don't sue me. Jesus Christ. Do you hear the little bell ding? Do you guys want to hear the bell ding? Oh my god, all your problems are solved, bitch! God. I mean, low key, right? That's where they talk about like faith and all that stuff, but you know what I mean? It's like when you're really in it, no matter what stage you're in, no matter how far advanced you are, when you're in it and then somebody be saying something, oh my god, it's kind of like what I was saying earlier about different things, like different people say things different ways or whatever, but never mind. Okay, 10 to 15 years, tree, whip, and coffin. So what I'm getting from this, like, okay, in the previous readings, like, garden was coming out a lot. There's some readings that were private. Just in case any of you go back and you're like, no, what? Okay, so garden, but then like, okay, you think like plants growing, flowers, whatever, like vegetables and stuff, but some of those things, right, even like some small trees and shrubs and stuff, they can get knocked over by the turbulent weathers and the winds and the rains. And this tree right here that I drew, this tree right here that I drew in the sand on purpose, which is crazy because in the Discord there was a tree growing in the sand. So there's actually trees that do just fucking grow in the sand, I guess. But despite what it looks like, right, it's thriving. And hear me out. Yes, I understand. I understand vines can be very invasive, okay? And that they steal the nutrients from the tree, but that's not what this is supposed to represent. But if that's what you want it to represent, that's fine, actually, because you're supposed to, these cards are supposed to encourage you to think for yourself. So think for yourself. Forget what the fuck I just said. But that's not what's supposed to be happening in this one. I'm sure that, anyway. It's supposed to kind of be like a different way of like portraying the leaves of the tree. Did I not want to draw leaf by leaf? Yeah. But there's another purpose to it. It's thriving despite the bareness and the dryness of the looking environment, because what's beneath the surface? So there's something very solid, this idea, loving yourself, creating a really like strong foundation. Like, you know how they'll call like buff legs, like someone who has really fit athletic legs, like tree trunks, like, oh, they have the tree trunks, because it's sturdy, it's strong, you can jump, you can bend, like you can do all these things, you know what I mean? So that type of energy. And then we have the whip energy here, which I wanted it to symbolize like growth. So this is supposed to actually be a vine, like a little like like, you know, like, or like when you're walking and the tree branch, like you kind of move it out of the way and then it just like I have learned to move plants so gently, probably almost to a detriment, but to be so gentle with them, like as if I could hurt them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't just fly the tree, I gently move it, like, hello tree, sorry about, like, you know what I mean? Especially the things with thorns and stuff, and I actually end up getting hurt a lot less, which makes sense because it's like as if they are responding to the, like, that respect and boundary of just like, hey, you know, I am a life and I am here and I exist. So it's also representing like a growth, right? Like, but a growth that's connected to something. So yeah, let's use you know what, actually let's like, if this was a vine, it is like rooted and connected to the tree, and we can ignore the fact that it would be stealing the nutrients from this tree. Maybe the tree wants to share it. Maybe the tree and the vine had a conversation where they want to share nutrients, and to the rest of the world it looks invasive, and then it's not. Girl, I don't know, I'm just fucking playing. But not really whipping people into shape, but that energy of whipping people into shape but like growth, you know, like a steady, like if you were to use a vine to decorate like a wire fence or something. Shifts happening, things growing and thriving from the things you've hoped for, you've worked for. Some surprises, maybe even. And those surprises with the coffin, those surprises, it's like when you do a bunch of good deeds and sometimes, like, you know, like that good karma comes back to you in the sense of, oh, fuck, what am surprise in the sense, like when you ask something for Christmas and your parents tell you no, and then Santa gets it for you, except in this case it's like God. 10 of Cups. And it can be God in the sense of like a father or a mother. It could be God in the sense of just a random stranger. It could be God in the sense of something thriving on your land or your property that you are trying to invest in or harvest. coffin, death of the old. But the way that I did it too, there's different layers. And there's like hearts surrounding all over. Like safe, right? Like ignoring what the fuck a coffin usually signifies, right? Because like it's like a resting. Usually it signifies like a resting, or it's like a bed. It's an underground wooden bed. A coffin is an underground bed, unless you're going in a tomb. Jesus Christ. I didn't fix my nail. I did not fix my nail before I recorded this video. That's okay. That's okay. I was doing it on purpose for a while because I was like, yeah. But I was even telling my sister today too. I was like, you know, sometimes like I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to shave my legs. Fuck you. Fuck what you think. But I just haven't had the time. And then I had to go a bunch of places. And I had to show my leg hair. But you know what? I think it kept me warm in this cold ass weather. So fuck it. Fuck it. Just so you guys know. Just in case you were wondering. There's other layers. And so despite whatever each layer is and the depths and whatever, if it's cold, if it's hot, whatever the fuck, you're like safe and tucked in and warm in there, right? Like I guess you could also put it in a furnace, but and then the ashes. But okay, if I feel called to be saying shit like that, there has to be a connection here. Safety and comfort in times of uncertainty. It's almost okay, because I've been hibernating a little bit. It's kind of like a hibernation, like spiritual blackout to go within self. Communications only between you and the divine. I mean, like, you can be having conversations with other people in your day-to-day life, but there are times when you are more vocal and when you aren't. And this can also signify okay, the coffin is under the tree. Even though there's grass here, just ignore that, right? just fucking play along, okay? Please. And then this is that. The growth, the colors. This is supposed to be giving you a message that I cannot convey in words, because that's kind of what this feels like, and it happens to me all the time, and sometimes I just choose to be quiet. Because as soon as I start talking, oh my god. And then when you feel like you finally got it and you start talking and it's a little bit too soon, so you don't have all the pieces together, so you're like halfway through and then you're like, wait, there's like a little bridge to connect this part and the last part. Hold on. But I also love when you are ready to share and it does feel like a flow and it feels right, and then you pick up stuff to add to it along the way, whether it's the other person or whether it's just as you're saying it, you kind of put it all together because you actually think about what you're saying and you care about the things that you say. You care if you, like, you know, you hurt other people's feelings and this and that. And even if you didn't do anything wrong, you still take it into consideration, because otherwise that's avoidance and dismissal. If something's bothering someone, whether you feel that it's valid or not, please take the time to understand what they're saying. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just ask questions, that's all. Like, instead of attacking or being defensive, you can just ask questions. And if you're asking questions and they're kind of attacky and defensive, just know that each time you have this problem comes up or you have the conversation, it will get better. Because you will feel safe and secure every time, and you don't let them talk to you however you want, right? Like if they're verbally like abusing you in the sense of like degrading you or this or that, like I don't think swearing is verbal abuse, because you can use these things in different ways. Like, never mind, I'm not do I want to say that? Do I want to say that? Okay. Okay. I know how to say it. I know how to say it. I know how to say it. Okay. Sometimes the way people use certain, this is just for an example, this is in general, a lot of you are doing this or were doing this or are surrounded by people who are doing this. They will take scriptures or lectures or written literature to back up what they're saying, to discriminate against you, to call you below them, derogatory, evil even, right? And that's not very Jesus-like, right? Or whatever, like, right? Like, and so just to kind of remember that, right? Like, Jesus died for our sins already. Doesn't mean you get to just walk around and be a hurtful person. Notice how I didn't say bad. You know, everyone is always like, oh, it's not personal. Oh, they just have something wrong with them. Oh, it's just because this. Oh, they cannot let go of the past. Oh, this. Oh, that. And you know what? That is the reason why what you're saying is true, is because everybody think like that and everybody do that kind. And I'm guilty of it too, because sometimes I get tired. Sometimes I just give up. And you know what? When that happens, I just need a break, because I see some other people stepping up too. Or the turbulence in the in-between. Like that rest is well needed, because I'm putting in some energetic, some verbals, some verbal work, some mental work. Right? Giving some time, sharing time, the most expensive thing in the world, time. The most expensive thing in the world, love. Yeah? It can only be given to you. Oh my God, they're not even on. They're not even on. The lights aren't even on. You guys finally get to see my little... That's crazy. This is a mirror. ASMR, you guys? My crown's getting hot. My crown and my third. I'm having something going on between my crown and my third. It's all connected, I think, to healing my food allergies, which I'm not really sure if I'm doing or I'm not. But what I can say is that the reactions are very, very different. And like, for the, like, this is going very well, considering. I might get a few more scars and stuff, but I think it might be worth it if I can. There's other things too that I can do to like kind of heal and like not completely get rid of them, but maybe reverse it just a little bit, right? Or just at least take care of them. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I've had my scars for so long. People are like, oh my God, your scars. Oh my God, what is this from? Oh, they look like burns. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, they're so ugly. Oh, she can't wear strapless. Oh, her shoulders. Oh my God. Oh, they're so ugly. They're so ugly. Like, I don't really give a fuck, okay? I'm more concerned about the medical health wise, what they mean spiritually, that kind of thing, because it's honest to God, it's just a visual representation of the things that I'm healing and the work that I'm doing. Something else I've noticed is things are moving, right? So the breakouts aren't in the same places. They're slightly reflective, right? They're slightly reflective, but just not quite. And so each time it shows up in a different place, and it's not just all lit up, you know what I mean? This is very good because this shows me that there's movement, right? There's movement. And if at any time I'm like deteriorating, I will stop, right? Like, don't freak out. It's a part of being responsible and trusting your intuition. Your intuition isn't going to lead you to go die unless, like, that is what is meant, right? Okay. Knight of Cups, Ace of Coins, the Sun, and Temperance. There's going to be a lot of reflections. A lot of people are going to be offering different emotions to you because they see you as a very understanding person. Ooh. Okay, these, good Lord. Okay, these are representing one community. They were like this on the floor. This is the crossroads in the book. This is representing another community in your life. They landed like this, tsunami and bouquet. So if this were maybe just the two sides of you, maybe you're masculine and feminine, it's the balancing of it. The balancing of like the spiritual, the things you can't control, and the things that are written, the things that are, the things that is. Your power, which is interesting. It's interesting because I was going to say your power, the power beyond you, but they're equivalent in a way. Anyway, sorry. I'm all like trying to figure it out right there. I'll understand it tomorrow probably. And this is representing your soulmate or your divine counterpart. Your husband, your wife, whatever. Future, present, letter. Past, if they passed away. So this, I kind of did like, like letters in the sand, right? Right? You guys don't fucking know because I've never told you, but confirming maybe some people's intuitions. Not that you can't interpret it another way, but letters in the sand was my thinking in this. What's coming to mind is also like the initials like on a tree. So, okay, this can also actually talk about lost love. So like exes or like whatever, if you need to consider that as well. Because when you write in the sand, it will eventually like be washed away or blown away or this and that. But it's like if you do it and then you take a picture, especially if you take a picture, it's always there. The letters that you write within that sand, even though it gets washed away, your energy was put there. Like forever your name will be written there, even if it's not visible. And that's what love is like. Forever loving them, even if you're not still together, even if they're not alive. Like just, you know, not like hoping that their life falls apart. You know, like wishing them well, wishing them luck, hoping they thrive, you know, sending them that energy when you remember them. Simple. It's simple. It's not. It took a lot of work for me to get here, but it's simple once you figure it out, once you practice and kind of get the routine down. And then you can kind of make your own routine, you know what I mean? And I think that's why I don't teach so specifically all the time. Okay, well, I think that's good. Let's see if the higher powers at work for you has any closing messages. Whatever you went through, whatever you just went through, it's really connecting you to your ancestral roots and to your physical reality roots. It's seriously grounding you in this reality. And it's like spiritual investments, spiritual wealth coming in stronger. Garden. Different types of birds. This is the key. This is the key. The birds are communicating with you. The birds and the flowers are working together to give you different spiritual downloads, different energetic codes, different memories, different ideas, different feelings, different attitudes. They're educating you. And whether you agree or not, it's all right, because your foundational beliefs are pretty much the same. And you know that just as much as the stork protects the garden protects the stork. This one was inspired by my favorite movie. One of them. Can you guess what the name of the movie is? Like, actually? Okay. Damn. Woo! 10 of coins. That was the tarot card that flew on the floor that I was connecting all this to, but congratulations on your growth, on your legacy, your legs, on communication, on taking time for yourself, on pushing yourself forward, on relying on that divine guidance and staying sharp in that way, even if kind of like dull-headed in a sense, like like that's part of it too, and just going with it. Because sometimes when you meditate in your emotion and you just feel that pain, it takes you somewhere. It teaches you something. It's a reflection of something. And if you can figure out how to work with it within yourself, it will reflect externally. And this process for yourself may take up to 3 years. The 10 to 15 is how long it may take your reality to fully and completely catch up with you. Because after that 3 years is when you kind of balance and figure it out. there's much more, but right now this is the focus, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.